Hello everybody and welcome to my TED Talk about frogs.
Sir, this is our high school classroom.
No questions until after I started the presentation. Now, what makes frogs so cool? Maybe that's lying. What makes frogs so cool? They can walk on two legs. That's pretty cool. I think a nice feature. They have long tongues. Really long tongues, use it to catch flies or whatever they feel like tastes good. They also have the ability to talk, which is very fascinating, and I've had a great conversation with frogs. It's really nice, and they also are very fashionable. Fashionable is what frogs are. Look at that frog. He has style, pizzazz, going places. Look cool, and also great gardeners. Some of the best vegetables you will ever dare eat.
Question. Am I in the right classroom? Cause this is supposed to be math, not biology.
I just watched all of Amphibious, and I really want to talk about frogs, okay? So you can start the frog, what's your name again?
Mark.
You're gonna sit here and listen to me talk about frogs for the next 5 hours, okay? So, next up, how do frogs have sex? Well, when a boy frog and a girl frog like each other, they... Okay, now that my presentation is over, let's talk about the season finale of Amphibious Season 3, the finale for the show, what I enjoyed immensely. This has been a fantastic show. Every season got better, and the last season was fantastic. Had an amazing ending. I had some sad moments in it. This show has some sad moments in it. It's great. It's good. Any show that makes you, I think, if a show makes you feel something, especially like sad, right? There's a lot of things. If it makes you feel something, you see that's a lot of times a good thing. Unless it makes you feel mad, or you're like, that was... But you know what I mean? If something makes you feel sad, I feel like that means at points it definitely was like something like, oh shit. That's a couple points that was like a couple moments in it's first and second season for sure. I forget the second and third season. I forget the first season. I probably did as well at the end. But yeah, it's a great show. So what is it? If you've been under a rock and don't know anything about Amphibious, it's about the girl named Anne who gets transported via this box called the music box to this world. Her two friends, Marcy and Sasha, also get teleported there, but we don't see much of them in the first season. It's just about her to meet these frogs called the planters. They obviously live in this world, the frogs and toads and lizards, and I think it's a lizard or gecko, something else, some type of everything. They're all like people. They can like talk and do like normal like walk and do like, you know what I mean? They're like amphibious, anthropomorphied frog people and toads and stuff, and they are there's no humans. So they meet their first human. They think it's weird, but then eventually they get together, meet up, and it's trying to find her friend and find a way home. That's the premise of the first season and kind of this series in general. The third season is a little different, so I will say spoilers because I can't talk about the third season without spoilers, because the entire season, when I watch the other two seasons, it's still good, you can still watch it, but there is some stuff, there's going to be spoilers, I'm warning you. That's all I can tell you, and that's basically season 1, because anything on that is kind of in spoiler territory. But let's jump into it. Season 1 ends with her fighting Sasha, and then season 2 have a big fight with Sasha at the end because they kidnap her toe. Season 2, Sasha is working more on her character with Grimes, who's one of the villains, and then they go to what's the town? The big town where King Andreas is, and they meet Marcy. They find Steve's there, and they get to meet with her, and then at the end they go to figure out the music box and go there, and then they eventually go back. They have to charge all the questions for the music box, go back, find out, and the king is actually bad and everything, all the shit, all the double-crossing stuff, and Anne goes Super Saiyan Blue. See, basically the blue hair, like Super Saiyan Blue. He becomes a Super Saiyan, kind of. It's fun. Like, he has anime-like powers. It's fun. I love it. So, and then we go into season 3. At the end of season 2, last thing I want to mention, they get stuck in, they get Anne and the rest of the planters family and the one robot. They all get stuck back to Earth, so they get stuck on Earth. And Amphibious is being taken over by, what's his name? King Andreas. And Marcy is held captive. She is presumed dead at the end of that season. Marcy is presumed dead because he gets stabbed. Oh, fuck. And then we have, sorry for the language, but also my chance not to forget, so just keep that in mind. But also, I'm trying to think who's the other character. Sasha and Grimes help get is left there, and she has to, and for Amphibia. So the fifth season is about them basically on Earth for the most part. all the way till like the last episode is them on Earth trying to figure out a way to get home to save everybody and save this thing. And they meet Anne's family. We kind of meet her parents for the first time. We get to meet them, Boone Troys, and then we get to meet some other characters throughout this, who they meet on Earth who help them and stuff. And it's really good. And then this guy called Mr. X, who's like walks to like the FBI or something, and he's like after the frog because obviously they're like aliens. So yeah. Also, it's a really sports episode. I'm not gonna make, but in the end, Mr. X does help them stop the big thing. In the series this season, they eventually do go back to Amphibious. They open up a portal. They get the stuff they need and go back to Amphibious to go and help fight Andreas. I forgot they didn't go back. Help fight King Andreas. Masha and Grime teamed up with the rest of the frogs who they knew from the town of Whatwood, the town they live in, and they all kind of got together and became like a group and attacked and fought King Andreas. And you get little pieces of this, and then they have to go and fight King Andreas, and they have to go get other members of other frog groups and other people. Everybody had to get everybody together to go attack to the Ohms and stuff and all this stuff, and they had to get ready to go fight King Andreas, and they do at the end fight King Andreas, and they go back to their world, Earth. They go back to Earth. Also, Marcy is not dead. She is in this thing, and and there's an episode where they kind of free her, two of the characters who were in the castle. So they remember them, who were kind of like King Andreas's other people. One of them's like a lieutenant or general or something, and the other one is I want to say the princess or something, or like technically the wife of the princess. I don't know, but they are there of another person, and then they try to save her, and then you find out, so he gets them attacked, and after they free it, he gets attacked, and became a part of this thing called the Collective, the collective minds of all the other past kings are in this thing, and they're actually really the true villain, and they're going to do everything. We learned about King Andrew's past was really cool. It makes it more sympathetic a little bit for him. He eventually at the end does kind of turn out, does some good at the end, so it's like, yeah, the bad keeps on the camera, because he felt like there was some good in him, you could tell, and it was cool to see him help at the end, even if it's just little points. I'm like, yes. And that's the most luck with that, and I'm trying to think what else happens. We have, okay, so they go back to Earth, and then they fight King Andrew's attack Earth, and that's when we find out Mr. X, who works for the FBI, him and anybody else, as he trained their parents, the Boone Troys, to help, instead of helping fight the big bad guy, send them back, save the day. They do, and goes back, and then we figure out, oh shit, the collective thing that's controlling basically the big bad guy. Like, I have a plan to, we're gonna send the moon down on Amphibious and destroy everything, bing bang boom, kill everything. That's the plan. So obviously, Anne uses her superpowers, also she used her superpowers to fight King Andreas in the episode before, but she uses her superpowers and also gives Marcy and Sasha their powers too. They all have 3 different colors, so I think it's interesting. I wonder what the color for. If they're the colors, I think blue, red, and green, they're kind of like powerful girls, but not point. I think that's what the color for. I think they might be different, but they go up and try to stop the moon and fight all the things and try to stop the moon. They fight all the bad guys and they try to push the moon. And it's like, I have to do this by myself as a last ditch move I can do, but I'm gonna die using this move, but I'm gonna use it and save everybody. So she does. She dies in a way where it's really sad, because oh my god, she's turning into after she uses it and saves the day, she turns into almost turning gray or something, and she's kind of almost dissipated, kind of like the Thanos snap. People just disintegrate, go into nothingness. They get and it's just dust. So it's I was like, Jesus Christ, this is the main character of the show. But he dies, and eventually she meets after they goes to commercial break. I watched this on TV. At least there were commercial breaks, and then he had when he comes back, it's she meets the person who's kind of like a god or something. Hey, I want you to take my place, rule over everything, kind of thing. Nah, I'm not ready yet. I basically tells her I'm not ready yet. I think I'll be better later down the line. And she's okay. And then she goes back to Amphibious. She gets brought back. She brings them back, and then they go back to Earth. And obviously, you have to say goodbye to everybody, because this is the end of the Planters and them meeting, and it's the end. And I was so sad, because they're not gonna see each other again. This is such a sad ending. Because it's kind of sad, not sad as in it's a sad story, but just them leaving and I don't get to see each other again. It's there's so bring it in to the end. But yeah, it's great, and they all leave, and then they shows the Planters, and then it cuts to years later with the Planters and what Amphibious is like now, later down the line, so you get to see what happens and later down the line, and it's great for them, so you can see how they kind of progress, and then we get to see how Anne and them progress later on in life, what they do, and that's how it ends. I forget who Masha is. She has a car. I forget what. I can't remember what they do. We have her, and then we have Sasha, who did like a comic or something, I think. No, not Sasha. What's her name? Mossy did like a comic or something nerdy. She did something nerdy. I think Sasha remember saying reading or something was cool. And I forget what Sasha does, but Anne works at like an aquarium place, and he works at a specific area in the aquarium that has to do with frogs. It makes so much sense, and it's so cool and she teaches like little kids about frogs and stuff. It's a really cool end, and as he calls the one frog sprig, I was like, oh, you were just doing this. This is so, and that's what I kind of ended. Like, oh, it's so good. And this is how you end a show. Like, I think shows should have always, if they have a good ending, I think shows should always get a good ending. If the show is like, it's hard sometimes, you don't know if they're going to get another season or stuff. But this was like a show that knew, like, this is going to be the end. We're going to go out and this is how the show wants. Because it's only 3 seasons. They got to plan this. Like, this is how when it's going to end the season 3. They could have planned it. It was a great 3 seasons. I love it. I think it's one of the best shows Disney has done in all time. It might be my favorite. Our House is still going on, so that could change. But Our House is also really good if you've not seen Our House. Also, they've been doing a lot of great stuff. Our House, like I said, Amphibious, Our House. We have DuckTales, already ended, but that was really good as well. Gravity Falls. They've been turning out some great cartoons. So Disney, you've not been slacking on your cartoons. You've actually upgraded compared to a lot of the other competitors. But that's it for this video. We talked about Amphibious. Let's get the rating. If anybody knows, I love the show to death, so it's getting a 10. Sorry, this is one of the ones. I'm not biased, but it's like it's just good. It's just fucking good. Every time I watch it. So if you guys have seen Amphibious, any of it, actually, you don't have to be any. It can be any season. Just talk about it in general. Let's talk about it in the comments down below. Usually when I'm doing a show, if it's no matter what, if it's one that has multiple seasons, you can talk about any episode really in the comments. You can talk about anything Amphibious in the comments down below. Let's talk about it. I'm actually talking, I feel like a little fast. I have a lot to say. This is really fucking good. Everybody should watch it. I think it's a fantastic show. And I'm excited to see how it ends, to see that. We will be talking about season 2 of that as well. It's simply down the line. Thank you guys for watching. I think this is a fantastic ending. You guys can watch it. You can always stay epic. See you next video, guys. Bye.